The Golden State Valkyrie of the WNBA, the latest WNBA expansion team, just had their expansion draft. I was supposed to live stream it, but I completely forgot about it. And by the time I realized the expansion draft was already over, unfortunately. But y'all know me. I like to yap, and I like to yap about basketball. So here we are. I'm just gonna talk about some of the players that got drafted because, to be completely honest, I don't know much about every player that got drafted to the team. I know I'm supposed to, I know I'm supposed to be the WNBA guy. I'm supposed to know all the intricacies and all that stuff, but this time I'm a little stumped. I don't know much about all of the ladies that got drafted to the Valk, but I'm still gonna get into it. I do know a little bit about some of the players and a player that may end up on the team as well. So first player I want to talk about is Kate Money Martin. She was formerly of the Las Vegas Aces. She played with Caitlin Clark in college at Iowa. Um, with the Aces, to be completely honest, Kate didn't really play much, right? But she when she did play, she was a solid player. She knocked down her shots. She played defense. She hustled, and she was a great presence in the locker room in Vegas. Now, part of that was just because of the vets that she had around her, and the Aces are very much a family esque team. So I think that's just part of the culture there, and that just kind of she just kind of got wrapped into that. But I think with that being said, I feel like that part of it rubbed off on her, and I think she'll take that to Golden State with her. And then she's just a no nonsense player to begin with. Like even in Iowa, like she shows up and she does her job. She doesn't complain. She's not a player that's gonna be asking for a million shots or anything like that. She's gonna come in, play defense, knock down her shots, and do what she's supposed to do. And I think, and the biggest thing is she's young. This is only her second season, and I just think for her career, I think she's just gonna be a solid veteran over time that could potentially be a championship piece. Not saying she's going to be an all star or anything like that, but a player like a JJ Redick or a 3 and D guy like Kentavious Caldwell Pope, right? Like KCP, he isn't the greatest player in the world or anything like that, but you know what you're going to get from him. He's going to come in, he's going to play defense, he's going to knock down his shots. He's not going to act like cause problems in the locker room or anything. If anything, he's going to be a benefit in the locker room, and he has championship pedigree because he got 2 championships. Now, Kate doesn't have any championships, but she did have a chance to be in the locker room with the Aces, who had just went back to back and went to the finals. They didn't win it, but they made it and they were damn close to winning the championship. So she was around players, she was around championship caliber players for an entire season. And I only hope that she and think that she absorbed that. So I'm super excited about Kate getting a chance to kind of flourish there because I'm assuming she's going to be a starter most likely. And if that's the case, I think she's going to be in good hands. I think she's going to make a lot of things happen. I think we're going to see Kate kind of flourish in this situation. Another player that I know a little bit about, Stephanie Talbot. I hope I'm saying her name right. Stephanie Talbot. She played for the Sparks last season. She's played for a few teams. I think she's played for Seattle. I think she's played in Minnesota before. Her stats don't jump out at you either. I think she averages 5 points and 5 rebounds a game or something like that. Like she doesn't do anything crazy. But also, she's been on teams where she's like the fifth, sixth, seventh option as well. So that doesn't warrant a lot of points and a lot of minutes and things of that nature. But one thing about her, similar to a couple other people on here that got drafted, she's just a solid veteran. Like she's been in the WNBA for 10 seasons. She's been playing basketball since 2010 or 2009 or something like that. And she's had a lot of success overseas as well. Like she was even an MVP in the WNBL overseas. Like she was an MVP in 2020. That wasn't that long ago. And I think she was able to become an MVP because she was probably the best player on that team. in this situation, as of right now, as the roster is constructed, she's a top three player on this team. I'm pretty sure she's gonna get a majority of touches along with Kate. So in that situation, not saying she's gonna be an MVP or anything like that, but I think we're gonna get to see a MVP esque Stephanie Talbot because who who else is it? It's her, it's Kate Martin, a couple other people. Like it's up to them to make things happen. Now this team probably isn't gonna shake the room or win a championship or anything like that, but I think they'll be able to compete. Um, they won't be. They might not make the playoffs most likely, but I think they'll win games. I don't think they're gonna go 0-40 or anything like that. And I think we're gonna get along with Kate. I think we're gonna get to see Stephanie Talbot shine a lot, and she might even end up being an all star from it. Who knows? Another one that I'm super excited about because she's actually gonna get a chance to play is Temi Fenagali or Fegnabali. Again, I hope I'm saying her name right. She played for the Indiana Fever. I think she was there for a couple seasons. She didn't get to play much, as I said. But when she did get to play, she was always active. She was always getting rebounds and playing defense and running the floor like a gazelle and just doing the dirty work. And I loved her. I was a huge fan of her in Indiana. I watched a lot of Indiana, obviously because of Caitlin, but I was just a huge fan of her because I'm like, she's playing hard. Every time I see her, she's playing 110%, playing hard, giving it her all. Only thing was, she wasn't on the court a lot. I even thought at one point that they should have started her at the five and Boston at the four, because I feel like they would have been able to just have more energy that way. They ended up putting Lexi in the starting lineup, which ended up having the same effect. But I felt like Lexi, Melissa Smith, Aaliyah Boston, and Temi as a starting lineup, I think they would have went farther than they actually did. They did get hot halfway through the season, like after the All Star break, but I feel like they would have got hot sooner if they would have went with that lineup earlier. But instead of the original starting center, instead of Temi. Well, Aaliyah Boston is technically the starting center, but they have another girl in there that takes up a lot of the minutes, and I feel like Temi should have got those minutes. I think she's the diamond in the rough here. Um, Again, not like a superstar or anything like that, but just a dirty work, hustling for the ball, rebound, Dennis Rodman esque player. I know people call Angel Reese Dennis Rodman, but I think she has the potential to really be a Dennis Rodman type of player. And I'm excited to see what she does with free reign. I hope they start Kate and her and Tolbert together because I think it'll be at least interesting basketball. I don't know about exciting, but I think it'll be interesting basketball to see, and I think it'll be a very solid version of hoops. And also, too, just a side note before I get into the next player, this team is very defensive, and I think that's going to be a benefit because y'all know me, I'm Mr. Defense. Defense and rebounding wins championships for me. Yes, the name of the game is scoring. I understand that. But if you're scoring and the other team's scoring and nobody's getting no stops, it's just a first person to 200 situation. Then I don't love that. I prefer a team that, yes, we're trying to score, but let's put an emphasis on defense. Let's put an emphasis on getting rebounds because the more stops we get and the more possessions we get, the more chances we have to what? Score. Okay, so and this team is very defensive, so I think that's a good foundation to build off of for the future as an expansion team. Because if you start off with a culture of defense and rebounding and dirty work and grinding it out and what's a word like grit and grind like the 2012 Grizzlies, grit and grind type of culture, I think that'll just be great for the future going forward. Because again, this team isn't going to be a good team for a while. But just start to build that culture or a solid culture of getting it out the mud, basically. Which is funny because people look at Golden State because of Steph and Clay as like, shooting threes and all that stuff. So for the women's team to be a grit and grind type of team, I think that's kind of funny. But I'm sorry, I went on a tangent for a second. My apologies. But the next player, Kayla Thornton, she played for the Liberty, the defending champs, the Liberty. And she's just a dog, honestly. Like, she's, again, which seems to be a theme here for the people that they got. Solid vet. Stats don't jump out at you or anything like that, but a lot of stuff that she does is things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Like, again, defense, diving for the ball. She played a lot of solid minutes for the Liberty for them to win that championship, and she was extremely important to that team. So, again, just another solid vet, a dog. Like Stewie called her. Stewie called her a dog. Like, they just got a dog over there. I don't know. I'm excited to see what the Valk do. Like, we haven't seen like expansion stuff in a while. Like, what was the last expansion team for the NBA? Like, what, the Grizzlies and the Raptors and stuff? That was 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's exciting to see stuff like this. I can't wait to see this team grow. Wait to see what this team grows into. Another thing too, Jewell Lloyd just demanded a trade from the Seattle Storm, which I think is a huge opportunity for the Valk. Really quick too, shout out to Eula Knows Ball on TikTok. One, Eula is an amazing photographer and filmmaker. She also knows her shit when it comes to football and basketball and just general sports. That's why her name is Eula Knows Ball on TikTok. So shout out to Eula Knows Ball on TikTok because she put me onto this. I didn't even know this. Apparently, the Seattle Storm was being investigated for some type of harassment, bullying situation that they were being accused of. And apparently the results of that investigation were nothing to be found. Like, they apparently just, whoever accused them of those things, just, it wasn't true. Nothing was found to piggyback on those accusations. Shortly after those results came out, Jewell Lloyd demanded a trade, which is, people like to say the WNBA has a lot of drama with it, and that's evidence of that. That's definitely evidence of that, but I think that's a good thing because the Valk could try to make a move for Jewell, or if somehow Seattle ends up letting Jewell walk, which they probably won't, they're most likely going to get going to try to get some type of value back for her. I doubt they're just going to like cut her or anything like that. She's one of the best scorers, not just in the WNBA, but in WNBA history. They're not just going to let her go, but if the chance that they do, I think it would be awesome for her to go to the Valkyrie, because if she goes to the Valk on top of the solid players that they have on the team already, again, I don't think this team will win a championship, but they're in a wonderful spot because you just got one of the best players in the WNBA, and you got a lot of solid defensive, three-point shooting, veteran players around her. I think you got yourself in a really good spot. I wish they would have. Just let her go. Like, didn't protect her in the expansion draft. Funny enough, the Valk got a player from every team, I believe, except for the Seattle Storm, and I think that was because Jewell demanded a trade, but they still had her protected. And again, I understand you don't want to give up a player caliber of Jewell Lloyd for nothing, but oh man, how I would love to see her running that team and just starting the culture of, hey, I know we're a expansion team, but we're gonna compete every single night. You're not coming into Golden State and thinking it's gonna be a cakewalk or you just gonna get an easy dub. That's just not what it's gonna be. I think that'd be awesome to start their journey off that way. But I know I yapped a lot in this video. I'm extremely excited to see what the Valk do. Shout out to the Toronto Tempo. They just announced what their name and what their logo looks like and all that stuff. I can't wait to see them. I think they come into the league next year, so we're gonna go through the same thing, something similar next year, which I think is super cool. The Valk also got the 5th pick in the draft, so that's awesome. When the draft comes around, I don't know who they're going to end up getting, but I'm sure they're going to get a solid player. There's a lot of solid ladies in this draft coming up. I'm going to be doing a mock draft for sure when the time comes, so you already know how I'm going to do with that. They might even get Haley Van Lith. That'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. How do you feel about the WNBA expanding? How do you feel about Jewell Loyd potentially going to the Valkyrie? Where do you think Jewell Loyd will end up just in general? Because she did demand a trade, so I'm assuming they're going to get her up out of there at some point before the new season starts. They got until next summer. It's a long time before then. But, yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you ding that notification bell so you know every time I drop a video. And most of all, YouTube, I love you guys. Peace out.
They playing me now. I'm trying to get this little shit out the ground. I need some money to get me around, but money don't grow on no trees. Yeah, they wait on me now. Hey, if I had $1 for all of my sounds, then I need a money machine. Yeah.